Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said vote bank politics is eating away a country like termites. Addressing the Karyakarta Mahakumbh in Bhopal on Tuesday, Prime Minister Modi said to save the country from vote bank politics and its collateral damage is the objective of the BJP. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj hosted the G4 Foreign Ministers meeting of Japan, Germany and Brazil to discuss progress on early reforms of the Council, including the expansion of both permanent and non-permanent categories of membership. The External Affairs Minister also held bilateral talks with leaders from Fiji, Estonia and Suriname. Asserting that legacy issues are getting over, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said bad loans in the banking system are on a decline and recoveries of NPAs have picked up. Speaking to reporters after the annual review meeting with the Chief of Public Sector Banks in New Delhi, the Finance Minister said that debtors of banks are paying up in anticipation of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code being applied on them. The BJP has alleged that Congress is pointing fingers over the current Rafale aircraft deal as it could not receive kickbacks during the UPA regime and therefore the deal did not materialize. The BJP alleged that there was a close link between UPA chairperson's son-in-law Robert Vadra and the controversial arms dealer Sanjay Bhandari, whose company has been red flagged by the NDA government. About 50 IIT students on a trek in Himachal Pradesh Lahaul Valley were rescued by the Indian Air Force helicopters, while over 500 people remain stranded in other parts of Lahaul and Spiti district. The death toll in the state, battered by heavy rains and snowfall in Lahaul and Spiti, have risen to 10. The Supreme Court will pronounce its verdict on a batch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of Aadhaar on grounds of it being a violation of the fundamental rights of privacy. The Apex Court had on May 10th reserved its verdict on a matter after a marathon hearing that went on for 38 days. The Defence Acquisition Council on Tuesday approved procurement of 1,000 engines for fitment of T-72 tanks of the Army at an approximate cost of over 2,300 crore rupees. The DAC also approved several amendments to the Defence Procurement Procedure 16. The engines will enhance mobility, agility and acceleration of T-72 tanks, making it more versatile and effective in the battlefield. Northern states of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Union Territory Chandigarh have agreed to fix a uniform tax rates on petroleum products. Besides, the state also agreed to bring uniformity in taxes on liquor and registration of vehicles and transport permit. The states also decided to constitute a subcommittee which would give their recommendations with regard to uniformity in tax rates in the next 15 days. A special court directed fugitive businessman Nirav Modi, a key accused in the multi-billion PNB fraud case, to file his reply on October 29 to an enforcement directorate plea seeking to declare him a fugitive under a new law. The ED in its plea has sought directions to declare the diamond jeweller a fugitive under the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. President Ramnath Kovind conferred the National Sports Awards for 2018 at a function at Rashtrapati Bhavan on Tuesday evening. Cricketer Virat Kohli and world champion weightlifter Saikom Mirabai Chanu received the prestigious Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. The president also presented the Dronacharya Award to 8 coaches. US President Donald Trump has called India a free society and lauded its efforts to lift millions of its citizens out of poverty as he addressed world leaders at the 73rd session of the UN General Assembly. US President Donald Trump has called on Iran's isolation while welcoming another former adversary, North Korea, in from the cold in an unabashedly boastful speech of the United Nations General Assembly which provoked laughter from fellow leaders. Trump denounced the clerical regime in Tehran for sowing chaos, death and destruction as he defended his decision to ditch an internationally brokered nuclear deal 4 months ago. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani accused his US counterpart Donald Trump of trying to topple his government as he poured cold water on the idea of resuming talks with Washington after its pullout from an international nuclear accord. Disgraced television icon Bill Cosby was sentenced to at least 3 years in prison and branded as sexually violent predator for assaulting a woman 14 years ago. The sentence means that Cosby could spend up to at least 3 years in prison and that could go up to 10 years. While the defense asked their client to remain under house arrest pending an appeal, the judge ordered him to be remanded into custody.